I'm the dude. So that's what you call me.
Are you a virgin?
Yeah, not since I was 10.
Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret.
Come on to the coast. We get together, have a few laughs.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Can I return it if it doesn't fit?
It always fits. Eventually.
Welcome back to Movie Mingle. I'm Caveman.
And I'm Maggie.
And today we are on episode 63.
Yay.
And we just watched Shutter Island.
Yeah, we did.
Shutter Island from 2010. Martin Scorsese film. I think now I might say an underrated Martin Scorsese film.
Would you?
I would.
I don't know. I like if you look on the ratings on IMDb, and they're fucking blowing this movie so goddamn hard, it's not even funny. So,
well, IMDb is, yes,
yeah.
But not everybody is.
I don't know. See, because like at work today, I was like, I just said, "Hey guys, have you seen Shutter Island?" Because I wanted to kind of get a base of what this film was. A lot of people told me that they had seen it once a long time ago.
Sure.
And then a few people
Same.
were like, "Oh no, I love that movie. It's great," or whatever. But like, I think you might be right about it being underrated. I think that a lot of people know about it and saw it once, but haven't gone back. And I feel like this movie deserves repeat viewing, especially.
I think it absolutely deserves
once
a repeat viewing.
Know the twist. What a twist!
What a twist!
Going back and rewatching it and kind of seeing how the movie plays out, knowing, and we're going to spoil the shit out of this movie. Also, it came out
heavy spoilers
14 plus years ago,
and we're going to get to all that juice,
all
soon.
that stuff,
but
all
first,
of those choices.
First, I poured us some shots.
Oh, I do love a shot of whiskey.
And my excuse for shots right now is the fact that a little behind the scenes of Movie Mingle. Mm-hmm. As soon as we're done recording, essentially this episode goes out in 30 hours.
Yeah. So buckle up, buckaroo.
From the moment, from right now, I have 30 hours to get this episode out.
Godspeed, my love. I believe in you.
We're going to start with some whiskey.
Yep. This podcast is, oh boy. Whiskey. This podcast is so easy on me because I just watch the movie and talk about it. You've taken over social media. You've always done the editing. Like, I'm going to leave you. I'm going to go lay down in bed. I'm going to watch The Repair Shop.
Yeah, you are.
Or daydream about Timothy Olyphant. And then that's my night. I was telling a friend today, my friend Sarah is watching for the first time. I don't quite know. But she's watching Lost. And I was just like, oh fuck. Like, boy. I've got a complicated relationship with that fucking show. Because although I love it and I will defend what a perfect series finale it is, I can never go back and rewatch it because I hate it. And my feelings towards that show are so just and vast and angry. And God, I fucking hate Kate so goddamn much that I cannot watch hour-long procedurals anymore that are longer than at most 16 episodes a season. Unless it's Marvel, Disney, or Justified. And those are the only shows that I've managed to like sit down and watch. Otherwise, if it's an hour-long drama that goes on past 12 episodes, I do not care. I will not watch it because Lost has destroyed my ability to. And also, if you insist that I watch it, I'm going to wait until it's completely all out and I don't have to wait 9 months to a fucking year for a new season. Lost.
I think that's what I'm going to be doing with the TV show Severance.
Yeah.
I think it seems like I've watched a handful of episodes.
People fucking love Severance.
And I feel like it's just nutty enough and weird enough and has enough questions and no answers.
Yeah.
That I'm like, maybe I'll just wait till it's all over.
That's fair.
Because it looks like an amazing show.
It does, but I will not watch it.
The behind the scenes on Severance are amazing. Some of the stuff that they have done for that show. Mm-hmm. The stuff that they caught in camera.
Yeah, no, great. I hope you enjoy it. I won't watch it. I just don't have the brain power. You want to sit me down and be like, here are 97 episodes of a half-hour sitcom, and I'm like, I will watch this literally once a year for the rest of my life.
What if I told you, Maggie, hold on. What if I told you after I watched Severance, I'm like, it's over, the entire series is done, I've watched the entire thing, and because I know you.
Yeah. Do you?
Sometimes.
20 years.
What if it's just mind-blowingly amazing. And if you just sit through it and watch each episode, you'll come out at the end a better and fuller person.
Maybe, I don't
That's just an example. I'm
Like,
not saying Severance is
I'm
actually going to
giving
do
you,
that.
you know what?
But-
I'm giving you a soft maybe.
I'm talking about any show that I'm like,
Soft maybe.
all right. Well,
You came to me. Look. You said it might come up on this podcast. You went and saw Sinners the other day. Nobody can shut the fuck up about how great a movie Sinners is. I have heard nothing but good things. I know people.
I don't want this built up.
No.
though.
I'm not saying it's. It's not built up the way
as
that
much
like
as I
others
enjoyed
have been.
it and am praising it
Yeah.
for many reasons.
Yeah.
Whether it be acting,
No, just let me
cinematography,
get my point across.
music, directing, story.
Look,
But I'm not.
I saw the trailer. I went, not my cup of tea, because I don't really like vampire movies or scary movies. And then you went and saw it, and you came home, and you went, Maggie, I think you'd like it. Because you know me, kind of. And you know...
I try to.
Yeah, and you know that maybe
Because
that's
of this
something...
podcast. Because of this podcast and
no,
what you've watched and been
you
able to
don't
be
have
like,
to.
well, I know. I'm just saying.
All you needed to say was, Maggie, I think you'd like it.
I know.
And I went, all right, maybe, fine, whatever. And now you're like, hey, some of our friends want to go watch it on the IMAX, and I want you to come with me. And I'm going, all right, fine. Because people that I know that barely talk about movies are talking about how great Sinners is. And I kind of want to be a part of the cultural lexicon. And I would like to see, if I'm going to see it, I would like to see it on a big fucking screen. So I'm in it to win it. I am down to clown for sure. But it took... I saw the trailer, I went, nah, and you came along and went, maybe. And I'm going to take your maybe and I'm going to run with it. I trust you, and I'm excited to watch this movie. But not everything maybe I'll like it, maybe I won't. I don't know. Maybe I'll be like, it was beautiful, but I didn't like the story. Who's to say?
Sure.
But I want to go be a part of the experience. And I'm always willing to be a part of the experience. My boss today was talking about what a great sardine pasta she makes. And I fucking hate sardines. But I was like, try it. No, it was anchovy. She was like, I make an incredible anchovy zucchini pasta. And I was like, I don't like either one of those things. I would try it if you made it for me. Because, you know what? Fuck it. Life is about trying things and experiencing things. Like, life is about the experience. So, sure, I will go watch it. Bringing it back to Shutter Island, I remember when this movie came out, you and I were like, well, let's go see it. I was definitely pregnant at the time. We loved going to see movies all the time back then. I mean, God, pre-kids, you and I lived at the movie theater practically. There was a summer where we literally lived at the movie theater. Like, we would go there in the morning, we'd stay there until night. Free air conditioning. We saw Transformers a lot. But...
I will say...
Like,
I will say when I saw Sinners, it was so hot in there.
Oh, fucking movie theaters cannot get there.
Wear the least amount of clothing as possible.
Did you see it at the theater we saw it at? Or we're seeing it at?
We're going
to the same theater.
The same exact theater, same exact screen.
Dude, and then the theater that we're going to see Thunderbolts on Thursday, I've been there when it's so fucking cold that I was shivering the entire time and it ruined the movie for me. And I've been there where it's so fucking hot that I was boiling and it's ruined the movie for me. All of this to say, I do say that a lot, all of this to say, movie theaters can ruin the experience just as much.
When we saw Dogma,
it
was so hot.
I was pretty warm in Dogma.
That theater was sold out.
Yes, it was a packed crowd.
It was a packed house, and of course that many people.
So
we're not used to seeing.
Did you notice that the woman who put her purse on the seat next to you either knew nobody was going to sit there, or they bought that seat as a buffer, which was a $50 buffer? Did you ever clock that nobody sat in that seat next to you?
Next to me, yeah.
No. So it makes me
true.
wonder if they spent an extra $50 on that seat.
I mean,
as a
moments
buffer.
before we went to the screening, Kevin Smith had tweeted that, or whatever he did. He sent a message saying that there was like 6 seats left.
Could have been.
And who knows if
Look,
all
if
6
we had
seats
enough
were
money,
sold.
I would buy a buffer seat. I'd be like, I'll give this man money just so that I don't have to sit next to some mouth breather who's talking through the entire film like the woman. By the way, we went and saw Dogma, the Resurrection Tour with Kevin Smith, and it was fucking divine. What a wonderful experience that was. If you have the chance, listen, if you're a Kevin Smith fan and you have a chance to watch one of his movies with him, take it. It cost us $100 total, and then like popcorn and shit. It was an absolute delight. It was like 4.5 solid hours of decent entertainment. Kevin Smith remains one of my favorite people to exist on this planet. He is so inspirational. He is so funny. He is such a good storyteller. And Dogma holds up. I forgot how good that movie is.
It's a good movie.
It's been so long, and it was beautiful in 4K restoration on a big screen. Absolutely stunning. But if you have a chance to go see a movie that you love with a director that you love, fucking do it. My God, what a joy that was to be sitting in the theater and hearing Kevin Smith screaming at the screen and telling us to applaud when certain people came on. It was a delight. I adore that man. But anyway, Shutter Island.
Shutter Island, which I would love to watch with Martin Scorsese.
I would like to watch it with Martin Scorsese too, because I've got some questions about the choices.
A lot of choices made for the making of this film. Shutter Island, of course, directed by Martin Scorsese. I think he has created every movie since 1966.
Scorsese has made every movie since 1966?
Yeah, every movie was made by him.
Even Freddy Got Fingered?
Wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he wants to do Kool-Aid the movie, so...
We need to keep watching that show.
I want to!
Oh my God, we don't have time to keep watching the studio.
How about instead of...
the 2 episodes we've seen so far are so good.
How about instead of Big Mouth, we watch one more episode of the studio?
Okay, fine. If we have time tonight, we'll watch an episode of the studio, but I don't think we will.
That's another show that I think people should be watching, even though I've only seen 2 episodes. I'm like, yeah, I'm all in. What am I going to say about Martin Scorsese that 1,000 other podcasts already haven't?
That he made Jack.
I don't think I knew that he made Jack.
We might have to rewatch Jack.
I think Jack's going to end up being a bonus episode.
We need to get fucking high as a kite and really ripped, and we need to just watch Jack and just be like, what the fuck? Because I vaguely remember what happened in that movie, but that we might need to timeline that bitch. Which honestly, frankly, I realized that the Baby Driver episode became the Timeline bonus episode, but Timeline deserves its own episode. That movie was wonderful.
Timeline. This
movie was...
Oh, man.
God damn
Timeline.
It. Because ever since then, every time you're like, no, we have to have another timeline with this movie, we sit down and I'm like, I fucking hate this movie.
Yeah.
So, Timeline was...
It's hard to find those kind of movies that are as good as Timeline.
So awful awesome.
Where they are so bad, but you are just so entertained the entire time. It's so hard to find.
God, get high and watch Timeline, friends. Trust me.
We've said it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
But Martin Scorsese, he's done 72 projects, and at 82 years old, he has 7 projects in the works.
Jesus!
Just for directing, he has 20 upcoming projects as a producer.
Jesus. He's 82?
He's 82.
Our neighbor is 82, and I spent like 15 minutes talking to her the other day. We've lived next to her for 11 years, and she was like, who are you again? Where do you live? You have kids?
So
that was uncomfortable and very upsetting to me that I was like, whoa, like, you know me. Your dog had my name. Like, Jesus.
It's one of those things that you're not used to, but
well, I guess it's all about genes, right? Like,
eventually everybody knows somebody.
I'm just saying, like Martin Scorsese still seems pretty sharp, because in his scenes in the studio, he was a riot.
He did a great job.
He just fucking
as an actor,
devastation.
Yeah,
was so good.
That face that he gave, like. This is the guy who directed Casino and Goodfellas and The King of Comedy.
Now, right? Like,
no, that was Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh, that was Coppola. Oh, okay.
Like, you got Coppola and Scorsese. And
yeah.
Scorsese's, of course, and he's the executive producer / creator of Boardwalk Empire. And
Steve Buscemi.
Shutter Island was written by Dennis Lehane, American author, wrote Shutter Island in 2003. Mm-hmm. Same author that wrote Mystic River, 2001.
A movie I've never seen.
And for those of you out there who like Sean Penn movies, or
Which I do.
or Clint Eastwood movies, which I do not.
Yeah.
I think Mystic River is something that I think people should at least check out at least once. I think it's Clint Eastwood's best film, even though it's not the one that he's known for compared to like $1 Million Baby or some of the other bullshit he does.
And if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. I find Sean Penn exhausting.
And this is Mystic River's the only movie I like him in. Well, it's one of the only movies I like him in. But Shutter Island's screenplay was written by Leda Kalogridis. She is responsible for the Birds of Prey TV show. She was the...
I had a lot of people tell me I should watch that. The Birds of Prey TV show. In fact, I even had a friend lend me the DVDs and I never watched them and just gave them back and went, it was great. Sorry, whoever that was.
Yeah, she was the writer-creator of Birds of Prey and also Altered Carbon with that actor who was in The Suicide Squad and Suicide Squad as... He was also RoboCop.
Oh,
Joel?
Joel Edgerton?
No, that's the other
Joel. He's one of those cardboard cutout actors.
Oh, I love him so
Kinnaman.
much. Kinnaman. There we go. He was the lead actor in Altered Carbon.
Yeah.
So that's the other show that she created.
Good for her. She's out there making money. I wish I could be doing that.
She also wrote the screenplay for Oliver Stone's Alexander with Colin Farrell.
Oh, choices.
Oh, a lot of choices were made for that one. Of all Oliver Stone's films, that one...
Man, I paid money to see that in the theater, and I'm still sort of angry about it.
So am I.
I wonder what that movie would be like
I don't
watching
recommend Alexander for anybody, but at the same time, I kind of want to watch it again just to see...
what it was like.
Or if I have a different opinion about it, but I know it was poorly received, so I'm more than likely to just be a waste of time.
Producer Robin has invaded our podcasting space, so bear with us.
Any bumps or sound problems are all because of him.
Yeah,
yay!
Hello, man.
Cats.
He's a man. I'm a man.
She also wrote the screenplay for Pathfinder with Carl Urban. I don't know if you ever remember.
Pathfinder.
It came out after Lord of the Rings. It was just one of those movies that they're like,
Carl
we're
Urban.
trying to make Carl Urban a leading man, and
they tried.
And they tried, and
I mean, they've succeeded in some ways.
There were a couple
the
movies
man's
out
got
there
a great career. I'm not going to
Dread
even front.
is still my favorite.
I adore Carl Urban, and we saw him at Disneyland once, and my brain he walked right towards me, and my brain did not process it until my friend slammed me in the arm and went, "That was fucking Carl Urban." I was like, "Huh?"
Yep.
But so Carl Urban has seen me once. Just like Orlando Bloom has seen me once.
Orlando Bloom, yeah. Orlando Bloom probably looked at your direction once.
He did, and I gave him a sup. And on the inside, I went.
She also wrote the screenplay for Terminator Genesis.
Choices.
Or Genesis.
Genesis.
And Alita Battle Angel, which more choices.
Choices.
This is Choices. Brought to you by Movie Mingle. Because we're just going to be talking about all the choices made.
Oh, God, there's so many fucking choices. This word will have no meaning by the time we're done with this one.
Well, here are some other choices that were made. Mm-hmm. Robbie Robertson, who composed music for, like, King of Comedy and The Color of Money, The Irishman, and the Killers of the Flower Moon. You know, famous musician.
Yeah.
He was the lead guitarist of for Bob Dylan in the mid to late 60s.
Interesting.
He was the primary songwriter and guitarist for the band.
Oh, fucking the weight. Take a load off, Andy.
Take a load off me.
And put the load right on me.
We're going to cut all that out.
Don't you cut that out.
He was ranked 59th in Rolling Stone magazine's list of the 100 greatest guitarists of all time.
I mean, the band rocks pretty fucking hard.
The band rocks hard.
Did he do the music for this?
He didn't do the music for this because if you remember, this was very orchestral.
This music was fucking wild.
It was wild. And the reason it was wild was because Shutter Island was distributed by Paramount. And I think whatever music that they had in their vault or, whatever that, it was just unused music that had previously been recorded but never actually used.
And that's what made up the score?
Robbie Robertson took that unused music and matched it with what was happening on screen, or just chose...
Is that why the music was so bad?
That's why the music was so weird. I don't know about bad. I wouldn't say bad.
Okay, so, look. This movie is Scorsese trying to make his own Shining.
Absolutely.
This is Scorsese's The Shining. Scorsese's Shutter Island of The Shining. The Shining Island. And there were choices made in the music. Several moments where I was just like, this is unbearable.
I don't know about
there were a couple times where it was very much Shining level unbearable for me. And again, we're going to go back to the word. There were some choices made. I didn't enjoy the music of this film. Now, not to say I didn't thoroughly enjoy this film. I enjoyed it to an extent. It is not my favorite Scorsese movie. I don't know how readily available I would be to recommend it to people, but the music was not something that I walked away from going, I liked that.
I don't know why Martin Scorsese just didn't have a composer. The composer probably would have come up with something very different, but at the same time, I kind of found myself enjoying the choices that were made musically. Towards the end of the movie, it wasn't about the music that was...
No, it was at the beginning of the movie that I really found that the music was unbearable. I think
unbearable?
Yeah, there's a moment where it was like, I think it was when they were driving up to the institution.
High screeching...
I don't like high screeching music. I don't enjoy that. When it's that loud and that grating.
That bad,
and imagine sitting in a theater having to hear that would fuck me up. Look, my ears are delicate. Like flowers.
You wouldn't do well during Psycho.
No! I've seen Psycho, actually. I've seen both versions of Psycho. Both the original and the one where you see Aunt Haitia's butthole. But I am not a fan. So, come at me, movie nerds.
Why are you always wanting movie nerds to fight you?
I want somebody to fight me because I have anger issues, but I have nobody to let it out on.
Robert Richardson, of course, the legend.
It took me as soon as you said Robert Richardson, my brain went, you should know who this is. And then my eyes went, I don't know who this is. No, it's been a long day for me, folks. Yes, Robert Richardson, the incredible cinematographer that we have talked about at length already. The meat in the Tarantino and Scorsese sandwich when it comes to, filmmaking.
There were some moments where during this movie we were like,
there were some Tarantino moments.
That's a Tarantino shot right there.
There were. Specifically, the Nazi killing scene.
Yes.
Which, bravo, fucking. The only good Nazi is a dead Nazi, folks. And watching all those guys get gunned down was delightful. But, yeah, Robert Richardson, okay. This movie is weird for me because, I enjoyed it and I hated it at the same time, if that makes any sense. But one of the things I enjoyed was cinematography. This movie is gorgeous. And Robert Richardson's, fuck this guy, he's incredible. He's incredible.
For those of you who have not been listening to any of the Scorsese or Tarantino podcasts.
Which, why?
Yeah, why are you? What's wrong with you?
Come on, guys.
Come on. He worked on stuff like Platoon, Wall Street, Born on the 4th of July, The Doors, JFK, A Few Good Men, Natural Born Killers that Tarantino wrote, Casino, Nixon, Wag the Dog, The Horse Whisperer.
Oh, my dad loved Wag the Dog.
Snow Falling on Cedars. And then, of course, my favorite part that I love talking about is Tarantino and Scorsese going back and forth with him.
Yeah, just double teaming this guy.
Bringing Out the Dead, Kill Bill, The Aviator, Inglourious Bastards, Shutter Island, Hugo, which was also Scorsese, so he got 2 in a row.
And Wolf of Wall Street, right?
Oh, yeah, and Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Django Unchained, Hateful Eight, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and then somehow, that I don't know how it happened, but somehow Ben Affleck got him for the movie Air, the Nike movie.
I'm going to assume a lot of money, a little bit of kindness, and maybe a blowjob.
But he has 3 Oscars for Hugo, The Aviator, and JFK.
Man, he's such a good cinematographer.
This movie just showed me how much I probably wasn't paying too much attention to his cinematography in the past, or especially with this movie. And I just appreciated so much about the cinematography in this movie this time. The first time I watched it, I did not like it.
Mm-hmm. You don't think the cinematography or the movie in general?
The whole movie in general, I did not
I remember
care for
walking
compared to
out
other.
of it. Well, okay, we saw this movie a long time ago.
Scorsese films.
I don't remember. I remember seeing this movie in theater. I don't remember walking out. Like, I remember when we got out of Where the Wild Things Are, and we were like, "Oh, fuck this goddamn movie." But like, I remember walking out of Shutter Island and being like, "Whoa," but otherwise not. I can't tell you anything else other than the fact. I remembered the twist, which is, by the way, that Leonardo DiCaprio is a patient in the mental institution the whole time, and it's all for you, Damien. It's all for you. And yeah, like I remembered the twist. I remembered nothing else to it. So rewatching it, knowing the twist, definitely changed how I viewed it this time. But yeah, I can't tell you what. I'm sure I walked out of it going like, oh yeah, that was a fun movie. Like, oh yeah, that was crazy, or whatever. But I can't say I don't think I hated it.
It wasn't a movie that was like, oh, like really made you go, wow, what an amazing experience I just had. Like the way I'm telling everybody about my experience with watching Sinners.
Yeah.
The thing with Shutter Island, the first time I watched it, I felt like I was cheated because I was promised like an investigation kind of murder mystery, or murder mystery, I guess, kind of meets like conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
And like, because the first time you watch it, you think, what are they hiding?
Yeah.
What are they really doing in this facility?
No, what's going on?
Because the first time you watch it, you view the warden and the doctors all as villains. Leonardo DiCaprio's character is the one guy, Teddy is the one guy that's like, I'm trying to uncover the truth about this evil place because they're up to no good. So the first time you watch it, you're going along with that idea. And then by the end of it, they're just like, just kidding, he's the patient the whole time.
Yeah. And
you're like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting, I guess. Okay, that was a
pretty elaborate, but all right.
That was an interesting movie.
If my boss came to me and was like, hey, heads up, we're going to spend this entire weekend pretending that this person works here when they actually don't, I'd be like, I would like this weekend off, please. I'm going to take some PTO. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's a hurricane. Like, I can't. Like,
but then almost 15 years later, I watch it for a second time, and now all of a sudden, I'm watching it knowing that he's a patient.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main thing. I think I forgot that his wife drowned their children.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about
that. Was a story. That was part of the story that I forgot about.
Yeah, I did too. I thought that he had killed his wife. I remember that he'd killed his wife. I didn't remember that his wife had killed their children.
Right.
Would you kill me if I killed our kids?
Yes.
Okay.
So
that's fair.
I was shocked at how much I was enjoying the film through my second viewing, because now I'm viewing it knowing that he's a patient, and you start seeing things like him not having cigarettes in his pocket, that he's used to them being there, but they're not there because they weren't put there.
The guards on the rocks, like, not really searching for Rachel's body.
They look like they're bored as hell because they're searching for something that doesn't exist.
Or when they're talking to the patient, Bridget Kearns, and they're like, oh, well, what's Dr. Seamus like? And she looks at Mark Ruffalo.
When he gets off the ferry and the guards are ready to escort them back to the hospital.
Yeah, there's always an armed guard on him.
The way they're looking at him, the way they're looking at each other, the nervousness of walking this guy from the ferry to the hospital.
Yeah.
The moment where they tell Teddy and Mark Ruffalo that they can't bring their guns onto the property.
Yeah, and
Mark
Ruffalo
Ruffalo struggles
yeah.
with taking his holster off because he's not used to having a gun or a holster. Like seeing all of that while you're watching the film, because there's so many clues showing that.
So much.
It's
oh
a
my
dense
god, there's
movie.
so fucking much. Like if you don't catch on to it by the end of the movie, you're kind of an idiot. I swear to God, because there's practically a neon sign pointing at Leonardo DiCaprio saying, "This man is a patient."
But the first time I watched this movie, I did not whatsoever think that he was.
No.
He seemed, like I said, it seemed like some conspiracy that they were keeping from a U.S. Marshal. And so I never expected once that he was a patient.
Okay, so, obviously there's been plenty of movies that have come out with a twist. What a twist. And rewatching them, you see it the first time, right? And you're like, holy shit, what a twist. And then you see it again, and you're like, you know what the twist is, so you're like watching to see, like what's the foreshadowing, and then blah, blah, blah. I feel like this movie, now that I know what the twist is, and I knew it when we saw it in the theater, and now that I've seen it a second time and I'm able to appreciate all the foreshadowing and everything, I'll probably never need to watch it again. Like, it's not going to be at the top of my list.
Maybe it took 15 years for me to watch it a second time.
Yeah, maybe another 15 years. It might take another 15
before I see it again, but
I'm not saying. But no, what I'm asking is the movie The Prestige, Christopher Nolan's The Prestige, has a great fucking twist in it. And that movie is...
And it's so much fun to watch the second time.
And a third and a fourth and a 90th. That movie is endlessly rewatchable. And every time I see the twist, I go... Because I'm so invested in the film that when it happens again, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I guess what I'm asking is do you feel like some movies, when it comes to their twist, do you forget about them or do you just lean into it? Because if we sat down and watched The Prestige right now, I know the twist, but I'd still be like, oh my god, what's going to happen?
Well, it's been a good long time since I've seen The Prestige.
I know, which is unfortunate.
And I keep wanting to watch it.
We need to bonus episode that motherfucker.
There might be a bunch of episodes that were just we need to see this specific director, especially from this list that we've been going off of.
Yeah, watch all.
I need to see
films.
their next one or the one that we didn't cover that I like more.
Yeah,
I'm sure some of that's going to happen, but The Prestige,
I'm just saying,
is very rewatchable.
Yeah,
and I haven't watched it in a long time.
It's kind of a better twist.
But even something like The Sixth Sense, I haven't watched, even though the twist.
What a twist!
We all know it, but seeing the clues, seeing Bruce Willis not interact, but not interact with people around him during the whole movie. All the color clues and other things that
I haven't seen that movie since the first time I saw it.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. I feel like watching some of these movies again because it's been years. Yeah. Many years have gone by with some of these, and that's kind of what you have to do with murder mystery. Even the movie like Clue, which is so much fun to watch. Mm-hmm. And I have the DVD that you could either choose which ending you want it to end on,
or just let it pick a random one.
It picks a random one, or you get to watch every single one.
Yeah.
So those can be a lot of fun because then you have. I like the random one because every time you watch it,
you never know.
You have no idea how it's going to end.
And that'd be the way I do it. I'm just saying that, I feel like some twists have held up, right? I don't think that this one has held up.
Because nobody talks about it, but more people should be talking about it.
They?
Let's start talking about it.
Yeah, all right.
Rotten Tomatoes has Shutter Island at a 69% from critics.
This is what I don't understand. Noise. I don't understand the discrepancy between the critic scoring and the audience scoring. Because, on IMDb, people are fucking blowing this film like it's God's gift to cinema. And I'm like, didn't we watch the same movie? But I also don't believe it in a low or a high D. That's a high D of a film. It feels like, why would it be on this list if it was a high D of a film? It makes no sense.
It's not a high D of a film. Audiences on Rotten Tomatoes gave it 77%.
That's still kind of low.
Letterboxd gave it 4.1 out of 5.
That makes
sense. Which is at least much better. Metascore gave it a 63.
What?
It was a low
What
D.
is happening?
8.2 out of 10 on IMDb.
Were some people just really fucking anti-Shutter Island?
The average comes to 75%, which is like just a mid-C, and I'm like, this is much better than a mid-C
on
movie.
IMDb, it has an 8.2 out of 10. That's a solid B. Which, honestly, is what I plan on giving this film, is a solid, like, B. But
then listen to this. It was made for $80 million.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty decent...
That's a chunk of change.
Pretty decent amount.
Yeah. I mean, the cast alone, Christ.
But it made 128 domestically.
Yeah, people really like this movie.
That's a good chunk. And then 171 internationally.
Mm.
And then 35 million on home media.
Damn. For a total of?
For a total of 334 million for an $80 million movie.
That's not bad.
That's great.
Where did the 69% come from?
That is great.
Were critics really just like, fuck this movie?
But I don't see it. Like, I don't...
But I kind of
Unless they felt cheated, like the way I did the first time. And if we're all basing it off the first time we watch it, I can understand. But this movie feels like it was designed to be watched at least twice. And I would hope people would watch it more than once or even more than twice. I might even start watching this movie more on IMDb. Obviously, people on IMDb fucking love this movie.
Yeah, 8.2.
Because I also there's a top 5 for Scorsese, which it's an interesting list. And there's only one movie on this list that I haven't watched,
which is
Taxi Driver,
and that's coming up.
So this is a top 5 on IMDb.
Okay.
That I don't know if IMDb themselves made this list or if this was a user's list, but if you go to Shutter Island's IMDb page,
I'm looking at it right now, actually.
There was a video about the top 5, and Shutter Island made number 5.
Oh, I have a Shutter Island at number 4. Scorsese's greatest films according to IMDb user ratings. I've got Goodfellas, The Departed, Wolf of Wall Street, Shutter Island, and then Taxi Driver.
See, on mine, it's the same thing, except Shutter Island and Taxi Driver switched.
What the fuck?
Making Taxi Driver number 4.
I swear to God, I feel like they do this on purpose sometimes. I feel like they do it just
But Wolf of Wall Street, Departed, and Goodfellas are still one. Goodfellas.
I haven't seen Goodfellas in so long.
You haven't seen Goodfellas in a while. You've never seen The Departed.
I have not.
We're about to watch Taxi Driver in a few weeks.
I do love The Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street is a fantastic movie.
That's a great fucking movie.
And Wolf of Wall Street and The Departed are a couple of my favorite Scorsese films. But no matter how you rank Scorsese, everybody's got their favorites. Everybody's got their least favorites. And
art is subjective. Even Scorsese's art is subjective.
I guess that's our theme.
Yeah.
So Maggie, unfortunately, too, Shutter Island really didn't get any awards.
I'm not surprised by that.
11 wins, 66 nominations. It won some awards from very small.
Yeah, like the smaller ones. Yeah.
I know Leonardo DiCaprio won a Teen Choice Award for Best Movie Actor in a Horror Thriller Film.
Which is funny because this man motherfucking acted the shit out of this fucking movie. But sure, okay.
The writer, Leda Kalogridis, won Best Screenplay.
Oh,
see how they did
settle down.
That was for the Scream Awards, of course.
Yeah.
For Best Screenplay. Yeah, unfortunately, even though I feel like this was 2011, the award season, the movie came out in 2010, along with all those other movies that came out in 2010 back, like The King's Speech and
Inception,
True Grit, and Social Network, and blah, 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 blah. Like, there's so many big movies came out in 2010. And honestly, my opinion, of course, but I think Shutter Island got snubbed. I think it could have been easily have been nominated for cinematography.
Yes, sure, cinematography. But I don't think that there is you know what? I take that back. There is one acting performance in this movie that I felt in any way was award worthy. And that was Ruffalo's. because he's the only one that doesn't look like he's acting. I'm an actor. Like, and I was going to wait until we got into the cast, but every person in this film is acting like they want that Oscar. Especially Leonardo DiCaprio. This guy is like, give it to me, I'm acting, look at how hard I'm acting, look at me acting, I am acting, look at me. And I found it so distracting. Because this is the same year that Inception comes out, and Inception is a wonderfully nuanced performance. I wouldn't even say nuanced performance by Leonardo DiCaprio, but at least is a better performance. In this movie, he is acting, and it's a lot. It's a lot, and every single one of them is, except for Ruffalo. He's the only one that seems to be going, like, well, and Jackie Earle Haley, but that's just because, you kind of expect to find that guy in a insane asylum somewhere. Like, that just sort of fits his vibe. Like, everybody else, this movie is so overacted. It's ridiculous. I mean, even Ted Levine, like, oh shit. No, I don't think that this was an Oscar-worthy performance for any of the people in this film.
Not even cinematography?
Cinematography, sure. Cinematography, absolutely.
Well, let me give you an idea of who else was nominated that year for cinematography. Inception.
Better cinematography.
Wally Pfister, of course.
Oh, Pfister.
I can't argue against Wally Pfister.
We hardly know
Inception won. I'm not saying that Shutter Island should have won.
No, but just been nominated. Okay, fine.
So we got Wally Pfister.
Sure.
We're not arguing against that.
No.
Black Swan.
Yeah, I guess.
The King's Speech.
I haven't seen it in a minute.
The Social Network.
It was one of the few parts about that movie I liked.
Now, this is the one that I think where Shutter Island should have been, because I like this movie, True Grit.
I haven't seen it.
But cinematography compared to
when was the last time you watched True Grit, though?
I own True Grit.
Yeah, when was the last time you watched it?
It's been a while, but...
So maybe you could sit down and rewatch it and go, you know what? This fucking Western landscape is shot beautifully.
And it might be, but I really, really enjoyed what I saw.
Yeah, no, the cinematography was great. But if there's only going to be 5, there's going to be a 6th. And honestly, since this movie was not beloved by the critics...
should have been the 6th then.
If this movie was not beloved by the critics, right, it was not... It made money, but, critically it was panned.
And at least this movie had light. Like, at least this one was lit. Whereas the Social Network,
Social Network's so fucking dark.
There's no light in that movie.
Yeah, I would replace the Social Network with this film, and I haven't even seen True Grit. But my point is that, they wanted to make an Oscar baity film for this movie. This movie is so much fucking Oscar bait. It's ridiculous. And they failed at it because they tried too hard. This movie tries too hard to be something more than it is. This was Scorsese saying, I'm going to make the fucking Shining. And collectively we went, no, it's a good movie, but no. So maybe that's why it didn't get nominated for things. Inception is a far superior film.
It's funny.
In every conceivable way.
The National Board of Review called this one of the top 10 films of 2010, but the Oscars didn't even put it in their top 10.
Yeah. Because maybe the Oscars are like, meh. There has to be an 11th or 12th. I
disagree with the Oscars. Absolutely.
We all disagree with the Oscars all the time. Why are stunts just getting a fucking category? Why is it that people have to actually watch the movies before they vote on them?
How that has not...
It has been almost 100 years. Why is that now a fucking rule?
Yeah. Now, finally... 100 years in.
They gave the best Oscar to Crash, for God's sakes. You can fight it all you want, but they decided, you know what? No, Shutter Island. We're going to shut you out. We're going to shut you out, Island. What are you going to do? This is the
when they don't get nominated for
this
things,
is the
especially when they don't win.
Film that they've done together that has not been nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah. And whose fault is that?
Well, maybe it's theirs. I haven't seen The Aviator in a long-ass time, but maybe it's theirs. And fucking Wolf of Wall Street was robbed. That's all I know.
See?
Yeah, but...
So why can't Shutter Island also have been robbed.
You can feel that Shutter Island was robbed. I don't agree with you, is my point.
Leonardo DiCaprio's in this movie.
Yeah, he is, and we've blown him plenty.
We have. So let's move on to Emily Mortimer.
Oh, fucking, I have hollow bones.
I have hollow bones.
I love Emily Mortimer.
What was the last movie we did with Emily Mortimer?
Emily Mortimer is a wonderful British character actress. She's done a ton of fucking things. I know her kind of most from 30 Rock because she plays Phoebe, Jack Donaghy's fiance, who has hollow bones, in the first season, and I love that character. I think she's so funny. She was young Sophie in Howl's Moving Castle, which was probably the last time we talked about her.
Yeah.
But most importantly, she was Catherine in Love's Labour's Lost, and I think that's where I fell in love with her for the first time, the Kenneth Branagh musical, which, again, is priceless and impossible to find.
I mean, she was also in The Saint with...
with Val Kilmer. She was in Elizabeth. With Cate Blanchett.
Notting Hill.
Mm-hmm. She's done a ton of things, and I am never unhappy to see her. She is married to Alessandro Nivola, who is also a really wonderful actor, character actor who's been in a ton of things. They met on the set of Love's Labour's Lost, and they fell in love, and their labors have not been lost. And I adore her. I think she's so funny in 30 Rock. She was in Mary Poppins Return. She was in Lars and the Real Girl. She's done a lot of great things, and I think she's lovely. She has a very small part in this film, but I can't see her and not immediately go, I have hollow bones.
Mark Ruffalo.
Oh, Ruffalo. Oh, he's so
I really like Mark
hot.
Ruffalo in this movie.
He was the best part of this film. He's the only actor that's not overacting in this movie. He's the only one that's just out there having fun, Mark Ruffaloing it up, just doing his thing, where he's always just sort of kind of, I don't know, like sweetly, like slightly off and just a little goofy. Like, you know what Mark Ruffalo was great in, and we haven't talked about him in it, was Mickey 17. Mark Ruffalo was fucking great.
Mark Ruffalo was great
in Mickey 17. Playing essentially a Trump character. He was so goddamn good. I love him as Bruce Banner / the Hulk. I always will. You know, we've had a few Hulks, but he is my favorite. He was delightfully terrible in Poor Things. Like, what a piece of shit he was.
I love his character. I love his acting. He played that character very well.
And he's a great actor. I've never seen Foxcatcher, but I've always wanted to. The one about the wrestlers who go to that place and it all gets fucked up.
He was in 4 different films in 2010.
Yeah.
When Shutter Island came out.
Oh God, you're right.
The Kids Are All Right.
Which was a good film.
The movie. Well, it was the movie that he was most known for in 2010.
Yeah, I think he got nominated for at least a thing or two for that.
Yeah, The Kids Are All Right also got nominated for, I believe, Best Picture.
Yeah. Oh my God, he's so good in 13 Going on 30. He's so fucking cute in that. And View from the Top. There's a world where Mark Ruffalo is a consummate romantic comedy actor and delightful for it. I feel like this is kind of the first time we've really truly had a chance to talk about Mark Ruffalo, and I think that he is just a delight, and he's so hot.
He is a delight. Every time he's in something, I'm
Who's ever
oh, that's
sad
cool.
to see Mark Ruffalo in anything?
Mark Ruffalo's in this movie. That's cool.
And you know what? Fucking, I just said it, but I'll say it again. He's a great fucking Bruce Banner. He's such a dweeb, and I love him as Bruce Banner. And I'm always happy that he's one of those guys that's like, yeah, Marvel wants me to do something, I'll do it. I'll show up in Shang-Chi. I'll voice myself in What If. Like, it doesn't matter. He's down to clown, and I adore that about him. And if you haven't seen Mickey 17, when it comes out, because I think it's still in that limbo of not being on it's not in theaters, but it's not been released anywhere yet. But
I'm buying it on 4K.
Oh, sure. That's I totally agree with that. But when Mickey 17 comes out, if you haven't watched it, watch it. He is incredible. I mean, Robert Pattinson does a great fucking job, but Mark Ruffalo steals that whole movie. So definitely check that out. Yeah.
An actor that we haven't talked about pretty much at all on this podcast, but I absolutely love, Ben Kingsley.
You know what? It's funny because Ben Kingsley and Mark Ruffalo are in Shang-Chi together, but they don't share any scenes.
Oh, well, yeah, because
Mark
Ruffalo's barely in that movie.
and they're two completely different characters. Their choice to hire Ben Kingsley to play the Mandarin in Iron Man 3 is
I mean, he was Gandhi as well.
Well, yeah, no, but I'm talking about Marvel right now. And also, like, Gandhi was problematic, so whatever.
So was...
They all are. It doesn't matter.
So was Iron Man 2.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Look,
Or
when it
3.
comes to the 3 Iron Man movies, right? It goes for me, Iron Man 1, Iron Man 3, Iron Man 2. I don't like Iron Man 2 that much.
Nobody
even though,
does.
like, yeah.
No, nobody
like,
does.
even though, yes, Coulson and yes, Black Widow and
not
blah, blah, blah.
enough.
It's just still not good enough. But their choice to cast Ben Kingsley as the Mandarin is this terrifying, fearsome villain, right? And then he just turns out that he's this
Trevor Slattery.
just this drunk fucking Cockney dude. Will never not fail to make me laugh really hard. And then when he returns in Shang-Chi, it makes me so happy. Ben Kingsley has done 8,000 different things.
Yeah, like over 150 projects.
Yeah.
Since...
Dude, I know you didn't watch it with me because I watched it late one night, and it's not necessarily a good film, but it's kind of good film. But he was in Operation Finale, which is a Oscar Isaac and Nick Kroll movie where they go, like, where this like group of Israeli like badasses go on the hunt for Nazis in South America, and they come across Ben Kingsley, who's one of the Nazis they're hunting down. Like, it's one of those movies where you're like, oh, okay, but it stars Oscar Isaac and Nick Kroll, so I'm gonna love it. And I watched it. He was really great in that. He's done everything from the goofiest shit to the most important shit. And he's Ben Kingsley. And in this movie, he fucking overacts, and I kind of live for it.
Yeah,
he was
like
having the time of his life.
Over 150 projects since the early 70s.
Oh my god, he was in Dragonheart 3. I'm sorry, there's a Dragonheart 3.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I needed to know that.
I mean, for every Exodus, Gods and Kings, and Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb, there's, I was going to say Ender's Game or Noah.
No, if there's a Ben Kingsley movie that I've been trying to get Maggie to watch over the years, I think the closest thing I'd get to that would probably be the movie Sneakers from 1992.
You've made me watch Sneakers.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
Have I?
I've watched it with you a couple of times.
Couple?
Yes.
I don't remember this at all.
Caveman, we have known each other for almost 20 years. You have made me watch that movie.
No memory.
You think I've held out that long on Sneakers? I've watched it, and it was fine.
No, see.
I don't know. I don't
think
remember
you've
that
seen
much
it.
right now. Look, he was also in The Love Guru as Guru Tuggin My Puda.
He was also in Schindler's List.
And he was also in Schindler's List.
Which...
I've never seen Schindler's List, and I will never fucking watch that movie.
He was also in Jonathan Glazer's Sexy Beast.
This man has done so much, and I will forever love him. Oh, Tuck Everlasting. What a great movie. And AI, Artificial Intelligence. What a movie.
Max von Sydow.
Oh, man. Fucking Max von Sydow.
Any extra time or film that I get to see this guy in is always
yeah, also,
like, I haven't
rest in
seen...
peace to the king. He's gone now. He's been gone for a while.
He is, and I haven't seen a lot of stuff with him. I know one of his biggest movies...
He has been in a ton.
I know one of his biggest movies that he did was Winter's Light. He was also in Flash Gordon and Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close.
And The Force Awakens.
Minority Report.
The Force Awakens.
Yes, I know he was in
Force Awakens.
For like 2 seconds.
And I don't care. He was also in Robin Hood, our favorite Robin Hood with Russell Crowe.
Our favorite Robin. Oh yeah, he was
Walter Loxley. Loxley.
Loxley.
He was in Ghostbusters, the video game, as Vigo.
The Carpathian?
He is Vigo. You're like the buzzing of flies to him. Max von Sydow was one of those just awesome character actors who did a lot of weird shit.
He was the three-eyed raven in Game of Thrones.
He was in Minority Report, which honestly was the first movie I ever watched with Tom Cruise that I didn't hate. And I haven't seen it in a very long time, but I remember watching that movie and going, oh, this is actually not that bad. Max von Sydow's character in this movie was really just there to be hidden behind large chairs and to be creepy and weird, and I was here for it. I didn't think he overacted. I think he just acted, which is always a little bit of overacting for him.
Michelle Williams.
Jesus Christ. Do you need somebody to
is
play
also in this film.
a doting, depressed, and ultimately doomed wife in the early 2000s? Allow me to introduce you to Michelle Williams. She was perfect at it.
Here she is in Manchester by the Sea. Here she is in Brokeback Mountain. Here she is in Blue Valley. I think she plays the same character in every single one of those
in
movies.
every single goddamn movie, she's just the doting, doomed wife. The doomed, doting wife. And in this movie, it's even more so because she's a little bit on the psychotic side. And, like, nothing against Michelle Williams, but has she been in anything good?
It's nothing that, like, she's never in anything that I'm really interested in. Like, she was in Venom.
Oh, Venom is one of the worst things I've ever seen.
She was in Manchester by the Sea.
Which I will not watch.
Oz and the Great Powerful.
Which I probably am not going to watch.
It's nothing really
Apparently
like...
she was in one episode of Cougar Town, which I did watch. There was a time there where if you needed the doting and doomed wife who was beautiful, you called Michelle Williams. And she's made a career off of it, and she's raised a child off of it, and I guess good for her. But I'm not seeing...
But that's about it. Like, it's not like she has a big career from...
I mean, I remember Dick. I remember, but I don't actually remember her in... Hey-o. I don't really remember her in But I'm a Cheerleader, but that movie is great. The Station Agent is a wonderful film with Peter Dinklage, but I don't remember her in it. And then past that, I'm sort of just like, oh, okay. And in this movie particularly, like, look, the rest of her films, whatever. In this film, she doesn't do a lot, but just look pretty and murder her children. She's just the doomed wife. She's just the fucking red herring or the mulligan. Like mulligan's the word, right, that I'm looking for. Like, she's just there to be beautiful and tragic, and it's... frankly, it's annoying. I don't know. I never liked those just doomed wife characters.
I know.
And that's all she is in this movie. I have heard good things about Dying for Sex, which is a show that she is in that's airing right now or has just recently finished airing. But in this film, she's just there. Go ahead.
Patricia Clarkson.
Who I will never not love. She's one of my favorite character actresses. And as Caveman can attribute, I said last night, she could spit in my mouth. I find her so hot.
Why? No.
Because why not?
No.
Why not?
No.
I actually have had a sex dream about her.
Nobody...
I have.
So weird.
And I don't regret any of it. I love Patricia Clarkson.
I think one of the most things she's probably known for is, at least in film, is probably James Cromwell's wife in Green Mile.
I was going to say, yeah.
The warden's wife.
The Green Mile is what I remember.
She was also in Station Agent, but I don't remember. I love that movie, but I actually don't remember her character.
I don't remember much of that film in general. Patricia Clarkson.
I remember how much I liked it. I guess that just means I need to watch it again.
Wonderful character actress, and I adore her, and I think she's beautiful. And yeah, I've had an intimate dream about her, and I have no regrets about that.
Jackie Earle Haley,
who I would also have
another character that we meet for like a millisecond.
And what is his character's name? George Noyce. Jackie Earle Haley once liked a tweet of mine. That's about as much as I can say.
Wow.
That was way back when.
I did not know he was in Bad News Bears.
Yeah, that's where he got like... He was a kid's actor.
Yeah.
But we know him... We actually quote Watchmen way too much.
Especially, you're not stuck in here with me. Or, I'm not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me.
Yeah,
one of Rorschach's
and we say that line to each other a lot. He plays Rorschach in the movie version of Watchmen.
Next, we've got Ted Levine as the warden.
It's such a small part, but such a creepy part. Okay, this is what... Ted Levine's character was kind of what really did it in for me, and the term of, like, this movie is so fucking cheesy. His choices in acting...
Well...
Like, the character is so weird, the way he's talking to Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, he's basically just like, I know that you think this is all a ruse. This is not a ruse. You're a violent man. But it was just the way he spoke to him in almost like biblical cues was very odd. And then, like, on top of it, I don't know, like, when they were on screen together in that car, clearly they were on a green screen and then just the background was filled in. And I couldn't get past how fake it looked. It looked so bizarre. It looked so fake. And I just, like, that just,
it's like
I honed in on that. And I
was
like,
done later.
Yeah, like an add-in or something.
Like, we need to do this one scene with the warden.
It was so weird.
But it didn't make any
weird.
sense.
It made no sense, and it wasn't acted well, and visually it was really bad. And that's what took me out of the film the most.
As much as I like Ted Levine,
Yeah.
I feel like that scene was the one that easily could have just been cut away because it offered nothing to the story.
My favorite Ted Levine film?
Yes.
Evolution. He plays like the major general in Evolution along with Ty Burrell, and the two of them have great, terrible chemistry together, and I love that. I love that movie so much. Ted Levine, of course, he was in Silence of the Lambs and a ton of other things. He always kind of pops up when you need somebody like weird and creepy. But in this particular film, like when we saw him and then when you heard his voice, you're like, oh, it's him. But, you know, he's just got that gravitas and creepiness to him, which lends to this film. But that's why it's so upsetting that the scene that him and Leo share is so bad.
Lastly, we have Elias Coates.
Coates, I believe, is how his last name is pronounced. Elias Coates, I know most from a very particular movie that somebody that I know and love insisted that we watch last night after finishing Shutter Island.
And it was great.
And
I loved watching it.
It was great. What was that movie, honey?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Heroes in a half shell.
Turtle power.
Heroes
in a half shell. Turtle power. I'm sorry. Fuck you.
Get it right.
Oh my God.
He played Casey Jones.
Casey Jones!
Back in 1990.
I have been attracted to this man since I saw that movie for the first time. And watching it last night, I was like, oh, he's an asshole. He is a misogynist. He's probably a little racist. I still want to throw him in a shower and see if I can change him. I have no regrets. He is so hot in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. When he's like gripping his hockey stick and you see his arm vein, like.
Did you enjoy that?
I have always, like, he's been on my Hear Me Out cake before there was ever a Hear Me Out cake. I was in middle school being like, you know who's kind of hot? The guy who plays Casey Jones in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And all my friends went, who? And what? But that guy, but my brothers loved that movie, and I loved watching Casey Jones because, God damn it, was he hot. And I am never unhappy to see him in anything, even though when we watched this last night, I was pretty sure it was Christopher Maloney, but they do look very much alike.
They have a similar look.
They have a similar look.
He was also in The Thin Red Line, which is probably Terrence Malick's best. Only good movie. That is the only Terrence Malick movie that I will sit through.
It's
got a 7.6 compared to a 6.8 from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, but it's the only Terrence Malick film that I'll watch. But if I'm going to watch an Elias Coates movie, I'm going to watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because Casey Jones is so fucking hot in that film. So, and then of course, the rest of Shutter Island is populated with really incredible character actors and actresses. Scorsese knows how to pick them, and they all do, and, you know, a very good job, but that's kind of the main cast.
Well, like I said, this movie has some really great cinematography and...
Okay, but outside of the cinematography, right?
Yes.
What made you like this movie so much?
I liked the fact that it makes you need to watch it a second time. Because I didn't care for this movie the first time I watched it.
Even though it took us 15 years, you're like, I want to watch it.
Well, why would I, if I don't like the movie the first time, what would make me watch it a second time? Usually, the way movies are made, there's nothing different nothing different will happen when you watch a movie for a second time, usually. I really feel like this movie is designed to be watched at least twice.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, you have to watch it twice because you have to understand the whole ruse of, all right, Teddy Daniels is actually Edward. I forget his character's name already. Anyways, Leonardo DiCaprio is a patient on the on Shutter Island. He's a patient of this, mental institution in the 50s.
Yeah.
And if you have watched a single episode of Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventurers, Expedition Unknown, Destination Truth, or any other paranormal TV show ever, you know that a mental institution / asylum was not a great place to be in the 50s. Like, lobotomies galore. And I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy, as my parents used to say. I don't know why they said that, but that was a common phrase growing up in my home.
I think it's from a movie.
It probably is. They weren't great places to be, and mental health was not something that was exactly cared for in the 50s, which is unfortunate, but it also is why this world looks like it does right now, because the grown-ass men, and sometimes grown-ass boys, that went through World War I and World War II, them came home and were told to just ignore all the shit that they saw and everything they had to do. And then that just compounded trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma. And that's why your boomer dad is really weird, because his father was unattentive because his father killed a Nazi in the war. We all know this, right? It's not uncommon. Being in an insane asylum fucks you up. The fact, though, that this entire asylum decided to band together to put on this, like, epic cosplay or epic fucking role play for this one patient is insane. Well, the amount of money and resources
they were trying, like, it was their last ditch effort to
save him from getting the lobotomy.
Being lobotomized. And so,
and ultimately
they were willing to go to very extreme lengths.
Honey, if your boss came to you and went, look, your coworker is going to get fired unless we all pretend to be somebody that we're not for an entire weekend, what would you do?
If there was a possibility of saving their job, sure, I'll
see. And
join in.
My two choices are morbid curiosity, and I'm going to take some PTO that weekend, you guys. I don't care if you need me. I'm going to be sick. Like, this is outrageous what they went through to get this one man to face reality. And while they themselves are on the, air quotes, cutting edge, end air quotes, of, like, helping a person by confronting their trauma and addressing it and accepting it and moving forward through it, which at the time was radical thinking, but now is sort of the common thought process when it comes to, therapy. It still just seems ridiculous that they went through all of this for one dude. Also, did they plan for it to be around a hurricane? Was the hurricane coincidental? Because they said that, like, oh, there's always a storm in your story. So it's like, were they waiting for a hurricane to hit?
How do they know when
they could do it?
When did they know that his brain has done its reset?
Yeah.
And when do they know that? When do they know that he knows that, or when do they know when he no longer knows that he is a patient and is now a marshal again? Was he crazy the whole time?
And I mean, I don't mean to use the term crazy in terms of people with mental health problems, but was he crazy the whole time? Like, were they just like, shit, next week there's a storm a-coming, let's get the script going and let's wrap this up. It's ridiculous.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe they drugged him because he was talking about how bad he felt on the ferry. So maybe drugs have a part to do with that. I don't know. Who cares? It really doesn't matter.
But it does matter. It really matters to me.
Not in the
because
end.
The amount of time
of
and resources and effort that they put into trying to fix Leonardo DiCaprio for what? Just to prove that Ben Kingsley was right?
Well, yeah. They gave him a chance.
They gave him a chance. Okay, so then let me ask you this. At the end of this movie, when he is told that he is actually a patient, that his wife murdered their 3 children because she is probably schizophrenic, at least. She's got some issues with schizophrenia. And his alcoholism, based on his past trauma in World War II and his neglect of his wife, led to the death of their 3 children. which is fucked up. And then he murdered her because of that. But I'm like, I don't really know why they'd send him to an asylum. So I guess they'd send him to an institution because he didn't think that he actually did it. Anyways, all of this to say, I lost my train of thought.
Don't kill your children.
Don't kill your children.
I mean,
no,
that's the main part of this movie that I took away from. Don't kill your kids.
But is it worth it?
Break a person's brain.
Is it worth it just to save one soul? He put so many other souls in danger.
Did he?
I mean, he beat up fucking Jackie Earl Haley.
Yeah, but they weren't really expecting.
They let him
that.
run around. Also, he ran around that island like an Olympian. He
They were
climbed
watching him the whole
up
time.
and down
Now,
that wall, that fucking
that-
sheer rock face cliff.
That climbing, just an average dude.
You and I watched the Olympic climbers at this past Summer Olympics, and that was impressive. And this motherfucker in 50s wingtips scales up and down a sheer rock cliff in the 50s?
Yeah, that's
In the rain?
probably slightly difficult.
Ridiculous. It's all ridiculous. And I think that's where I'm kind of hitting up against a wall of just like, all of this for one fucking guy? How stupid. Do you think that he purposely goes off to be lobotomized? Or do you think that he actually has regressed back into his Teddy Daniels character? So Leonardo DiCaprio is told what he has done.
Yes.
He has been faced with the awful truth of his life.
Yes.
And he knows, he is told, if you do not come to terms with the actual reality, you'll be given a lobotomy. And then it shows him sitting on the steps of the asylum, smoking a cigarette, watching everybody. Do you think that he purposely goes off to have the lobotomy as punishment / as a way to be free from this pain? Or do you think he's regressed back to the person who doesn't know?
I guess that's the question of like, does the top in Inception
Stop spinning.
stay? Yeah, does it stop spinning? It's one of those questions of like.
What do you think?
Something tells me that he knows there is no other way out except for the lobotomy.
I think he purposely goes off. I think that he purposefully pretends to not understand. Because I feel like, especially when he's walking up to the orderlies and he's very aware of what's to come, he's doing it with the singular purpose of, this is what I deserve. I deserve to be punished. And I also want to be set free of this pain. And to me, and it feels like this was supposed to be the big, Inception top spinning moment that was supposed to be talked about forever, where people were like, well, did he know? Did he not know? But I think it's pretty clear that he's doing it on purpose. And I just wanted your opinion on it.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he absolutely knew at the end that it was his only way out from the pain of knowing what his wife did, of what he did to his wife.
Which caused then the death of his children.
All that. And yeah, I absolutely believe that he punished himself, essentially.
My last question for you before we move on towards the end of this podcast, this very goofy podcast. Which do you prefer when it came to 2010 movies starring Leonardo DiCaprio about his wife going crazy and murdering herself / her children, thus leaving him in a weird limbo that he has to then navigate through to come to terms with what she did and his role in it? What do you think is better, Inception or Shutter Island? Because it's the same fucking character.
Not only is it the same character and the same kind of story, but it also came out the same year.
Yeah.
I mean, Inception's better.
Inception's a better film.
Inception
is...
But I'd also give Inception somewhere between 4.5 to 5 stars.
Yeah.
Which I may have given when we did it.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
I can't remember what we did. But personally, and we'll just get right to it, I would give Shutter Island 4 stars. Okay.
You enjoyed it, and I'm glad that you did. I found it to be enjoyable up until a point, but goofy all around. I'm going to give it 3.5 stars.
Jeez.
I can't give it 4 stars.
So low.
I can't Give it 4 stars.
So low, like all these other critics and people who.
Maybe so.
Just
Maybe
shit
that's
all
why
over
we're
it.
like, well, how does Shutter Island have a 69? Nice.
You might as well just be the Metascore of everybody who gave it 63.
I'm just saying, like, it's not the best Scorsese film I've ever seen. It is not the best Leonardo DiCaprio movie I've ever seen. It's not even the best Robert Richardson movie I've ever seen. It's all averagely good. They tried a little bit too hard. There were choices in music and filming, in acting especially. Like, it was all fine. I didn't hate the movie. I thoroughly enjoyed watching it with you. But, like, I wish we had watched Inception instead.
But we already did.
Well, I wish we would have watched it again.
So, Maggie.
Yes, Caveman.
I have 2 questions for you.
Hit it.
I'm breaking you out. Can you fly a TIE fighter?
I can fly anything.
I can fly.
Why are you helping me?
Because it's the right thing to do.
You need a pilot.
I need a pilot.
We're gonna do this. Yeah?
Anyway,
You gave me such a
now
gift.
the air
and
has
I've
been
been so...
squeezed out of Maggie.
You gave me such a gift, and I've been so distracting to you for the entirety of this podcast. And you gave me such... Please play it again.
I'm breaking you out. Can you fly a TIE
I
fighter?
can fly anything. Why? Why are you helping me?
Because it's the right thing to do.
You need a
You
pilot.
need a pilot.
I need a pilot.
We're gonna do this.
Yeah?
Mark me down as scared and horny. You fucker.
Anyway.
No, you can't just go
Would the
past
presence
that.
of Oscar Isaac have made Shutter Island a better film?
Storm pilot forever, my babies. Yes. Why not? Sure. What the hell? I would have loved watching Oscar. I would love to see Oscar Isaac in a Scorsese film. I would have loved watching him in this. He would have been delightful.
So, second question.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Which character would you have had him play? Leonardo DiCaprio, huh?
Okay.
Lead role.
Nothing against. Absolutely
Is this because
nothing.
of his work in another show where he's kind of
Oh my
not
baby Stephen Grant.
100%
Oh
there?
my god, my beloved Mark Spector and Stephen Grant. I think the world of you and I love you. No, I just would have liked to watch Oscar Isaac do that whole role. You know what? I have nothing against Leonardo DiCaprio in the role. Yes, it's very overacty. But fucking why not? If I could replace Oscar Isaac with anybody in that movie, I would want to replace him with Leo so that I could stare at him the most and see him wet and see him dirty and see him climbing a mountain and see him going insane and see him being so pretty. And also, like, Storm Pilot forever. Poe and Finn are gay lovers, and I don't care what you say, Disney. It is true. We all know it. They know it. The fact that John Boyega and Oscar Isaac are like, yeah, these two are in love with each other. It's going to happen. It already has happened. It happened. Anyways, yeah, you fucked me with that sound clip. You could have picked anything, and I could have just been like, la, 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 la. But you have literally destroyed my night by that. And I need to now go watch The Force Awakens and watch that scene again because I love my baby so much. And that has been this week's episode of Movie Mingle on Shutter Island, and we hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. Next week, we will be doing the absolute soul-destroying, beautiful film, Coco. So tune into that to hear us both cry about how great that film is. I kid you not, I cry a lot in movies all the time. I've never seen Caveman cry harder in a film than when we watched Coco for the first time. So it's going to be fun to revisit it because we have not wanted that pain in a while. So look forward to that next Wednesday. Until then, you can find us on Instagram, Threads, and Letterboxd at MovieMinglePod. You can find us on YouTube at MovieMinglePodcast, and you can write us any of your questions, comments, thoughts, and concerns at movieminglepod@gmail.com. All that information is in the episode description below, which, by the way, I spend a little bit of time every week making sure that the episode description is goofy and a lot of fun, and it never gets a lot of love, so check it out. Why not? We look forward to you joining us back here for Coco and all the tears, but until then, take good care of yourselves. Be safe out there. And if they tell you that you never had a partner in the first place and it's all in your head, don't believe them. And go mingle. Bye.
Are you an effective team?
We are an effective team.
Let them fight.
How did you just do that? I'm a really good lawyer.
Here on Caladan, we've ruled by air power and sea power. On Arrakis, we need to cultivate desert power.
Welcome, Mr. Beach. What's that bar? I'm a little confused.
Well, we wouldn't want that, would we?
I don't want to brag, but I will. I was in the Avengers.
The Avengers?
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you. What is that?
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Toga, 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 toga.